talk a little bit about the importance of Santa Cruz for the movement of youth that followed. And it was really a very pivotal moment, not only for the independence struggle, but also for the role of activism in youth. And after Santa Cruz, the fundamental, the leadership of the liberation movement gave new prominence to the student and youth movement in the pursuit of independence. And Shanana called for the form of a clandestine front, where youth played a pivotal role in the resistance struggle from there on until independence. And they were also considered to have played no small role in actually achieving independence, and including the Timor-Leste students who were living in Indonesia, who were studying at universities in Indonesia, played also a very big role in bringing the idea of human rights into the student movement of the Indonesian universities. Significantly, during the Indonesian occupation, there was no NGOs. They weren't allowed. In fact, I first went there in 1997. I was with Caritas Australia, and it was illegal to have a meeting of more than 4 people, except in that. So people couldn't leave, they couldn't go. People were frightened. People were really frightened. I was very privileged in working with Caritas, which was sort of unique in the sense that it's under the umbrella of the Catholic Church, whereas other NGOs had to work through their Indonesian counterparts. And in Caritas Dili, there was a most amazing energy of youth activism. I mean, some of the people who worked there then have now become quite well known, like people like Benito Freitas, who is now the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Antero Benito da Silva, who is a well-known academic in the peace studies in the National University, Lara Brandes, who one of the key gender activists in Dili. So these people found a niche to be able to express themselves through big part of Caritas. Then in 1998, the fall of Suharto meant that the environment became more liberal, and there was a possibility of starting up more activist groups. And there were a number of movements set up, importantly the Student Solidarity Council, which was actually led by Antero Benito da Silva. While Lara Brandes, she was setting up the Ocupairs, a very important NGO that was working with women who faced violence, particularly violence through youth struggle. And various other NGOs set up that time, like Sahel Institute and KSI. And there was a sense amongst these activists that they were seeing that they were moving towards the moment of independence, that wanted to contribute their work towards freeing society from poverty, illiteracy, and disease. So transforming from once independence was there, the struggle wasn't over, there was more things to be done. Of course, the Indonesians fled in 1999, and all the international agencies came in with large amounts of money and wanted partners to go with them. There were only 14 NGOs at that time. And by 2002, there were 515. Has all formed in order to become partners of the international NGOs. And there were also, at that time, there were up to 250 international agencies in India. You know, some of the team leaders were saying their workplaces have been taken over by international NGOs. Because when they had fled to the hills in the horror of '99, it took a while to come back, and some of the places that had been left empty were occupied by the international NGOs, and So there was quite a lot of concern at the time about that. So, and then, you know, the Timorese activists, they have fantastic activist skills and they were really committed to human rights, but they weren't that good on things like satisfying the management and the control required by donation. There started to be a bit of a tension between the international and local NGOs in some cases. So, the ideology that they carried with them, the ideology of liberation, they had learned during the Indonesian occupation, during the struggle, during the period of the Transvaal. They've very much been driven by ideology of liberation and commitment to social change and building on the people's own strength to be able to overcome the struggle, the situation they were facing. And they have carried that through in the work that has taken place in a number of NGOs. And one of my co-author, Abel dos Santos, who is a community development lecturer at the National University, recently graduated from the university, also with a PhD on farmers' social movements in Timor-Leste. So he was working with a group of farmers up in Amera when he was with KSI, one of these early NGOs. And they established an activist school, which called about Auckland Road, the School for Liberation. And we're working with the young farmers to build up the potential and strength of the people and to help them reclaim the rights of ownership to land that they have lost to the plantation owners. That has become quite a significant movement, very much through the ideology that came to them from that period pre-independence, where they have to stand on their own. They shouldn't be depending on outside, building up their own strength and moving to make change within their community. And I'll just mention also that the Covalima Community Centre, which is the main partner of Benefit Y, which I also remember. But they, from the very, very inception, they were part of the Student Solidarity Council also in the institution, and they were at the University in Dili at that time, a group of them, and they formed the Covalima branch of the Solidarity Council, made a pledge to each other and to the community that they were going to return to Covalima and contribute their skills to the development of Covalima. And when Francis Swire came along, I think it was like they just saw this as a vehicle to fulfill their own desire of what they wanted to do. So it was, it has been a really powerful partnership, a very successful partnership, but not just because of what Francis Swire has done, but because of the commitment they brought with them. And they brought that from having been part of the struggle and having been educated, trained into the thinking of having to be self-reliant and having to work towards a better future for themselves and their communities. So it's important to recognise how significant that struggle has been in fighting the mentality of people right into the present day. And thank you for listening.